Hi. After hearing the demise of some of these men, the friends of Jesus, the disciples, and some of them died in terrible ways, we still have one left. But I thought we could do a little bit of cheering up, so I thought I'd wear my Disneyland shirt here with Minnie Mouse on it. Did you know that Mickey Mouse used to give me my paychecks every week at Disneyland? Yep, I got my paychecks from Mickey Mouse. I like him. Anyway, I thought, this is Minnie. I thought maybe we could use a little cheering up. Anyway, to get to the point, we have one man left, and his name is John. Remember John way at the beginning when Jesus first started his ministry? He was one of the fishermen that was out by the Sea of Galilee, and he felt so drawn and compelled to want to know more about Jesus. So Jesus called him to be one of his disciples. And I get a kick out of John through all of the things that he's written in the scriptures. He always makes it a point, I, John, the one whom Jesus loved, he had a close relationship. Of course, Jesus loved them all, but John just really was close to Jesus. Anyway, he's in this point in time, he's still alive, but he is a prisoner of Rome, and Rome had an island for prisoners. It was called Patmos, and so they assigned John to the Isle of Patmos because they felt he was too much of a threat. He was too disruptive. So they put him on the Isle of Patmos. Now, Isle of Patmos, actually, I did some study on it. It has a higher area, and then it dips down closer to the ocean, a lower area, a flat part, and then there's hills. Well, this is where John was assigned to go. But on this island, there was a prison out there for bad prisoners, and it was on the flat part of the island. There was housing and beds, and just like a prison out there on Malta. Did I say Malta? What was the name of the island I just said? Patmos. That's where he is. He's on Patmos, not Malta. We did Malta. On the Isle of Patmos. And so the real rough prisoners, the bad ones, were designated to stay inside of that prison, inside of the walls. But there were other prisoners that weren't so bad, and they were free to come and go out of the prison. And this was just far enough offshore that they could not, it kind of reminds me of Alcatraz over in the San Francisco Bay. It was just offshore of San Francisco, so it was isolated, and it was a little too far, and the water way too cold for the prisoners to try to swim back to the mainland. So anyway, Paul finds himself on the Isle of Patmos, and he was free to go around the island, but it wasn't a very big one. And one day, Paul went up into the hills a ways, and he was in kind of a rocky area, found a little shelter, like a little cave or area up in there. And I don't know what they used to write with, but he brought his writing materials. I know it's way out of the Stone Age. He didn't have a chisel, but maybe he had a pen, like a quill or something, or parchment. And he went up there just to think about life and his past and all that he has done with the Lord. Really missing him a lot. He loved him terribly strong. Here goes Grandma crying again. I'm reminiscing with Paul, with John, I mean. And anyway, as he was sitting there, he heard a voice behind him. And the voice said, John. And John kind of looks around and he just doesn't know what's going on. John! And he looks around and he realizes that's a voice he hasn't heard for 63 years. And he turned around. It was Jesus. It was Jesus. And Jesus said, I want you to write down the things that I tell you. Well, John started out writing by saying, I was in the Spirit concerning the Lord's day. Now, in the Spirit, he was in the Holy Spirit was upon him. And in the original, it says concerning the Lord's day. It wasn't on the Lord's day, which some people say Saturday, some say Sunday. He was in the Spirit. Okay. Concerning the Lord's day. And I'm going to leave it off there because John is really loaded with the fire of Jesus now. I'm going to leave it off there right now. I think my cat wants me to. Bye-bye. Happy day. Happy day, Minnie Mouse.